Welcome to the Silhouettes of Success podcast with your host, successful entrepreneur, broker, and business mentor, Amber Weitzer. Because success comes in all shapes, sizes, and styles, the Silhouettes of Success podcast is shining the light on industrious women with a collection of curated conversations of intentional inspiration designed to inspire your heart, ignite your mind, feed your soul, and gift you with actionable insights directly from inspirational, everyday women who've shown tenacity, grit, and grace, having taken on the challenges in their lives and business and won. Remarkable, down-to-earth, and relatable, Amber and her guests will share with you uplifting and extraordinary real-life success stories, motivational ideas that just might help spark something within you. With the deepest desire to serve you, help you grow so you can begin to shine the light that will illuminate your very own silhouette of success. So, let's get to it.
Hello, and welcome to the Amber Weitzer podcast, Silhouettes of Success. Our VIP featured guest Silhouette has a tenacious spirit with a passion for uplifting others to live their best lives. Please help me welcome Sheri Thompson, CEO of Energy in Success. Hello, Sheri.
Hi, Amber.
How are you today?
I'm amazing, thank you.
Fantastic.
So thrilled to be here.
Yeah, great to have you here. It's such a pleasure to have you here with us today as you share your Silhouette of Success story. So thank you once again for joining us.
Absolutely. I certainly appreciate it.
Perfect. Sheri, to help illustrate your Silhouette of Success for the audience, how about you share a little bit about your background?
Absolutely. Well, I was from New York. I'm actually from New York, upstate New York, grew up there, and moved to Texas as fast as I could, now living in Dallas. And my career was spent in corporate America. I actually went to college. Didn't finish, actually. Everybody thinks you have to finish college to have a successful life and career, and I didn't, but stepped into financial advising in the financial services world at the age of 20 and built my career and worked my way up into wholesaling financial advisors and had a career, but ended up really just feeling like there was more out there for me. You know, and I had a lot of life experience along the way. I was married and divorced twice. My most recent one was, just a little over a year ago. And I have a 7-year-old little boy. So have definitely been through some trying times with that and pushed through, got through it, and came out on the other side. Also have dealt with cancer in my life, not for me personally, but both of my parents actually, and lost my mom to pancreatic cancer a few years ago. So all of these things happening in life, not being fulfilled in my career any longer, my mom passing, and watching her kind of go through life and work really hard and not really even ever get to where she wanted to be, just really made me have a shift and realize that there was more out there and I wanted more. And I just made a decision to hire a mentor and go through a program and completely change everything about my life. So that's what has brought me to where I am today.
Wow. Amazing and so inspirational, because within what you've shared as far as capturing the milestones in your journey, all of those things that you would go through, right, with each of those milestones, such bravery and resilience.
Yeah.
Yes. And it is interesting how you shared that with us. You don't have to finish college, right? And anymore we're saying that perhaps it isn't the best path for some folks. And so I always say I've been paying life tuition. I liked how you talked about having a lot of life experience. So talk to us a little bit about, you mentioned, embracing all of those changes and that there's more out there in life, hiring a mentor. What positive adjustments have you made in your life or environment to help support this growth of your new dreams and goals?
Really just spending every morning in study has been a big part of the changes for me. If you start your every day, every morning, studying in mindset, writing in your gratitude journal, I write my goals 10 times a day, twice a day. That just sets up the day and sets up life for you, really. Because any time that you are looking forward, focused on today and the future and not living in reverse, you are putting yourself in a great position to continue moving forward. Most people live in reverse and they think and focus on their results when you should be focusing on what it is that you really want. And so making that shift and focusing on what I really want has really changed the outcomes of everything in my life and my world.
So, of course, I'm a note taker. So you write your goals 10 times a day, twice a day. That is phenomenal.
Yes. Puts you in a high vibration, right? And it's not just writing your goals, right? It's writing them as if they've already happened. So I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm living in a perfectly physically fit, healthy body as intended by God and nature, right? I already have it. And when you start training your mind and putting that into your conscious, which then puts it into your subconscious mind, and you start training yourself to believe that that's where you are, that's where you go. The universe starts to open up all the opportunities for you to achieve any of the goals that you have set for yourself. And I always like to say, it's not just about money, right? It's about happiness. It's about health. It is about wealth. It can be about spirituality. It can be all encompassing, right? So it's whatever goals you have for yourself and what it is that you want to accomplish and achieve on all levels.
So enlightening, inspiring, all of those great things. Wow, listen to you.
Right.
Oh, that's fantastic. On the flip side a little bit, do you ever find yourself unmotivated in a rut, and how do you get unstuck?
Yeah, well, absolutely. We're all human, right? Even me, who I'm in this material every single day, studying and reading and doing all the things around mindset, I have my moments, and that's okay. The biggest thing I always like to share about having your moments is just to not stay there and don't beat yourself up. We tend to, especially as females, I think, just beat ourselves up for having a bad day or not getting everything done that we were supposed to get done or not pushing through something in a given day or maybe even a week. I mean, sometimes we have our moment. And so for me, I go back to my studies. I go back to one of my favorite books, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and I open up a chapter on whatever I'm dealing with. I maybe go into my study materials from Bob Proctor, who's one of my mentors, and the resources that I've gotten from him. I also like to listen to Esther Hicks on manifestation. So sometimes I listen to that, very soothing. Sometimes I just turn on some music. Music really lifts me up and gets me in a high vibration. So you might find me once in a while just having a quick dance party with my 7-year-old, or even just in my office, just kind of turning on the tunes and just moving to get myself out of maybe a little funk that I might be in and get that vibration just a little bit higher. So it's a lot of things, but it kind of depends on what I'm dealing with in that moment as to what resource I go to, but I have a lot.
Oh, well, sometimes it takes a lot, but those are all fantastic. Those are all fun, and it does bring the energy back, and it does take you away from whatever we're allowing to bring ourselves down at the moment. Oh, that's great. Thinking back a little bit, or maybe it's more recent, you tell us, but what would one piece of career advice, or maybe, and I know you're surrounded in all the goodness of this, but life wisdom that maybe was shared with you at some point that you have found invaluable?
I don't know that there's any specific piece of advice that I've received that I have found invaluable. If I were to give someone a piece of advice, though, around this, I would say, stop listening to all the noise and just do you. I think sometimes we tend to listen to all the noise and allow other people to decide what's best for us. And how can someone else know what's best for us? I think that we need to just really dig deep inside of ourselves and really understand who we are, because we have the answers inside of us. And if you really dig deep enough, you know what it is that you want. And I wish that someone would have told me to do it sooner. And I say I wish someone would have told me to do it sooner, but then I also retract on that statement a little bit, because really everything that I've been through and every experience that I've had has been part of the journey to probably get me to where I am today. And it now allows me to do what I do, step into my passion, and truly help other people because of those experiences. So maybe if I'd stepped in sooner, I might not have the ability to help as many people as I can now. So I'd say, as far as advice, I would just say that that's my advice for other people, but I'm not sure I've ever gotten a piece of advice from someone that would tie into what I'm doing, because most people actually think what I did is pretty crazy and insane. So I didn't even have the support of my family when I got out of my corporate career. I'm a multiple six-figure earner in my corporate career, and I literally just released it. I had written out, going through a program with my mentor, written out everything that I wanted in life, and realized that I wasn't doing those things and wasn't being true to myself. And I literally just released it and decided to do what it was I was passionate about and step into it. And pretty much everyone in my world thought I was crazy. And you know what? That's okay. And I think that's another great piece of advice for people is, sometimes when you step into who you're meant to be and you go for a dream, people are going to think you're crazy, because it's not how people think, act, and operate, right? The masses, like I said in the beginning of this call, think that we have to grow up, we go to school, we get out of school, we graduate, we go to college, we graduate, we work a job, we make a paycheck to retire someday and live out the rest of our days. That to me just wasn't my journey. And that doesn't sound like fun to me. We're meant to create. We're meant to grow. And I believe that everyone can do whatever it is that they want to do if they decide and they step into it.
That's awesome. And sometimes, that support is definitely not with those that might know you and love you out of caution. They're just thinking, whoa, whoa, whoa. So sometimes that risk is more radical than they're able to really process or embrace for you. So with that, when you decided to do that on the same topic, where did you find support? Did you find support on the outside, or did you find support in other resources to help you along this passion that you decided to step into?
So my support has come from my mentors. Mm-hmm. I have a coach myself, still do. And I also am part of a mastermind group, a premier mastermind group with phenomenal folks. And so I just have found that I've surrounded myself, and the universe really opened up all these opportunities for me to be surrounded by like-minded people. And so it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, that when you decide and you put energy towards something, the universe opens up other opportunities, or starts bringing things to you to allow you to have that growth, even things that you maybe never expected or in your wildest dreams could ever imagine having access to or being part of. And so I find that taking that focus and really being in what I wanted just started to open up those opportunities and brought those people to me. So I have new friends and new folks. And I just want to go back for just a moment, though, because you said it's beyond their realm of thinking and possibility for the people who are typically in your world. And I want to share that, I don't blame them, and it's not their fault. It's just fear, doubt, and worry that they're living in, and they're just afraid for me. It's just fear. And so I'm choosing not to live in fear, and they are still living in that fear and just wanting the best for me. Mm-hmm. And so I never look at that as a negative. It's just a lack of awareness. So I just wanted to share that, because, it doesn't mean that the people in your life don't still love you.
Right.
They just don't know how. Yes, they just don't know how to support you.
It is hardest, I think, because they love us, to not have those concerns. And sometimes they've even done their own thing, right? Sometimes they've gone off, but we forget. Yeah. Even in the parent role, or even as entrepreneurs, sometimes you forget those in-between phases from even what you went through, because it seems like so long ago. So you talked a little bit about bringing back the awareness, and we have to have that clarity and just, say, okay, wait. So that's great. So talk to us a little bit about your company.
Yeah, so my company is Synergy and Success. I started this company last year in September of last year. And what I do is I work with individuals with a focus on women, financial advisors, and I also do some corporate work, coaching corporate executives, wholesalers, and people in sales. So that's my company.
It's amazing. And where do you find your clients?
It just really depends. Some of it's by word of mouth. People know what I'm doing, right? I also connect with a lot of people on LinkedIn. I have a lot of connections across the country. So LinkedIn is a great place for people to connect with me or for me to connect with them. I also connect with a lot of people on Facebook as well. I try to put a lot of content out on Facebook and LinkedIn just to inspire people around mindset and just stepping into who they are as well. So those are the ways that I typically connect with people.
That's perfect, and that's what we need.
Yeah, I know, right?
Bring it on. Give me more and more and more. Oh, that's fantastic. Well, Sheri, we're going to pause here and take a quick break to hear from this episode's sponsor.
Is it time to sell your home? Build that dream home? Right-sized? Or are you ready to invest in real estate? Couture Real Estate Firm is a local female-owned independent brokerage laser-focused on services exclusively tailored to our clients' real estate goals. With our forward-thinking business model, we have a fully mobile luxury real estate concept allowing convenience, flexibility, efficiency for our clients in style. Amber Weitzer, broker-owner of Couture Real Estate Firm, has over 20 years in the real estate industry and is a second-generation broker. She provides straightforward business practices, integrity, and intelligence with a commitment to a high-touch, consistent customer service experience. We take great pride in our reputation as a strong, referral-based brokerage. Discretion, tenacity, respect, and proactive business practices have earned Couture Real Estate Firm a loyal, repeat client business with a trusted global partner network. We strive for ultimate client satisfaction with successful results, doing it with class, consciousness, and a little avant-garde. In addition to serving our clients and vendor partners, we are extremely honored to be actively engaged in supporting the communities we serve by promoting small businesses, schools, and nonprofits. Real estate is direct sales business at its core, and we are highly trained sales professionals with the Mike Ferry organization, adding dimension to the industry. Passionate about customer service, dedicated to client satisfaction, and driven to achieve successful results for our clients. Call Couture Real Estate Firm today at 817-233-7239 to discuss your real estate goals.
All right, Sheri, we are back. So as we dive into a little bit more and get to know you, talk to us a little bit about who or what influences you the most.
So, a big part of my inspiration, I would say that's probably a little bit more about my why, right? My son, my little guy Brady, really inspires me. I mean, every single day, he's a little old soul, and just getting into the mindset content and what I've been doing over this past year, he's been like a little sponge. And literally, there's moments, probably almost in every day, where somebody will say something in the house, or he'll hear me having a conversation with someone, and he'll speak up and say, "Mom, they can't think like that. That's not the way they should be thinking. They need to go for it," right? I mean, he'll just or he'll say, "Mom, don't say that because the universe hears you." So it's just been amazing to watch him even grow in this. So I want to say that probably the most inspiration I get is from that little guy every single day. But of course, just from other points of inspiration would be, of course, my mentors, my favorite authors. and a big part of my inspiration too, I'd say is my mom. My mom passed away 3 years ago, but just seeing her life and knowing how hard she worked and what an amazing person she was, I'm inspired to get to, and actually I'm already there, but I was inspired to get to complete fulfillment and happiness in life, because she was lacking that for so many years and had finally found it about a year or two before she passed away. And so I was just really inspired. People get sad when somebody passes away, and I choose to find inspiration from the life that they live and find a way to grow from it and move forward. So as much as I miss her every single day, she's a big part of my life. She's also been a big part of my inspiration and my why as well.
It truly is beautiful.
Yeah.
You mentioned, having some favorite authors, and so that segues perfectly into one of the questions that we like to ask is to share with the audience, of course, maybe some favorite book authors or spiritual, anybody you follow. You mentioned your mentors, so anybody you'd like to share with us. We're always looking for good content and resources ourselves, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mentioned Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. I've been reading that book since the age of 19. So it's absolutely one of my favorites. Esther and Jerry Hicks is another one from a spirituality perspective. So that's definitely one of my go-tos. Really anything that they write is amazing. Right now I'm reading a book called Ask and It Is Given, Learning to Manifest Your Desires. I'm also reading a book by Ernest Holmes. He's actually the author of The Science of Mind, but I'm reading this book called This Thing Called You. It gets pretty deep, but I spend time actually studying each of the chapters. It just, I love this, right? This is what I do for a living, and I love it. Not everybody's going to study this like I do,
right.
But
I like how you use the word study. Most people say, oh, I read this or read this, but you've used the word study consistently. That's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's how I do it. I actually study these books and read them over and over and over, because you get something new from them every single time you read them. And what I've found too, which has been really inspiring for me and amazing, is when I'm reading a book, I'll find something in the chapter or in a paragraph or in a couple of words that is something that one of my clients is needing to hear. And so it's been amazing how I've been able to even help my clients through my study, right? I mean, obviously I should be doing that, but it's kind of what I said, when you put it out there and you start really focusing on certain things, the universe brings you exactly what you need. So it's bringing to me exactly, I'm reading the exact thing that I'm needing to read to be able to help a client. There's a lot of death going on right now, right? And I know that's a negative, but there's a lot of stuff happening with COVID and just, flus and everything, right? Well, COVID's not good or bad. It just is. And so I started reading this book called Dry Those Tears by Robert Russell, because I have some clients that are really dealing with this and having a hard time. And so I started reading that to even help, even though I know how to coach them on it, I needed to dig deeper for them. So I did, and it's been so inspirational and so amazing for them to get this information and for me to be able to share it. And so it's a long answer, but
no, it's a great answer. And it just goes to show the collaboration and support that we do need from each other, and sharing the resources and all of these things that you're doing, because obviously, they need you and you need them, and, we all need each other. So sometimes we could be reading the same book at the same time, and you're studying it and I'm reading it and I'm not seeing something, it's great. I know, this is amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Well, goodness. Well, Sheri, as we begin to wrap up and respecting your time, busy day, and tell us, is there or do you have one key piece of go-to advice that either, again, someone has shared with you that you've carried, or that you have a tag, something that you would share with the audience for intentional inspiration?
My go-to is there's no limit to our potential. You can have, be, and do anything you desire in life. You just have to decide. And that's it.
Love it. Mm-hmm. Love it. And as you mentioned, your son said, just go for it.
And just go for it. I know. It's so fun.
Add the radio mix. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, as we close out, Sheri, where can our audience go to find and connect with you on your socials or website or wherever you want to support you in your continued success?
Yeah, so my website is www.synergyinsuccess.com. And all of my social links are on there as well. And if you're just listening and don't happen to go to the website, my socials are Sheri Kuebler Thompson, SheriKuebler Thompson, Thompson. So that's Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Perfect. And of course, we will share all of your contact and resource information, the books and all of those amazing things, because I think you've probably shared with me maybe 4 or 5 to 6. I don't know.
I know.
God, it's not so much. Okay. So we will go back and pull all of that and share with the audience. So, Sheri, it has been a complete pleasure and joy connecting with you today as you share your silhouette of success with us. So thank you very much for joining us.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Amber. I certainly appreciate the opportunity.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Silhouettes of Success podcast. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out and join us for all the new episodes. We are here for you and with you. We encourage you to share this podcast on all your socials and pass on the light to help illuminate another silhouette of success. Amber would love to hear from you, and you can find her on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, or head over to amberweitzer.com. Let's connect. Help us all shine and leave us a review too. To find out the latest ways to inspire your heart, ignite your mind, and gain actionable insights, subscribe at amberweitzer.com. We are honored, humbled, and full of joy that you've tuned in. Remember, you are exactly where you need to be, right here with us. This is the Amber Weitzer podcast, Silhouettes of Success.